Women who have low self-worth, it's not that they truly view men that you're talking about, a exceptional man that you're referring to, as weak or unattractive. It's just they know they can't get them. So the easiest way for a broken woman to make it right in her head is to make fun of him or call him weak or whatever. When the truth feelings within her is that she knows that he's not.
And another thing is like adding to what you're piggybacking off of that is that she may feel that even if you're coming for her, that she can't satisfy you. A lot of men who have class, a lot of women don't feel that they can live up to that type of quality,
right?
Because they never have that quality. And
Are you done? Are you done?
Okay, hi guys, we are back. We're going to read another email. Okay, so this is from Mikhail. Why do a lot of black women, not all of course, are more attracted to dangerous black men? And I mean by dangerous, they like gangbangers, thugs, rough men, even physically abusive. So why would they deny or look down upon black men who are the complete opposite, like the ones who are educated, kind, loving, respectful, understanding, then have kids with the opposite men when they don't want to even marry them in the first place? Why do they keep going back to them or keep going for the same kind of man knowing the results are going to be the same? What's the origin of their behavior? And why do they consider decent, kind, happy, and hardworking black men unattractive, weak, or unworthy of them, unlike for the opposite men who don't do anything at all? Thank you. That's what we say. Okay, so thanks for the question. So basically what we're talking about here is self-worth. So you attract who you are. We've said that. You attract who and what you are. So a lot of women that date roughnecks, gangbangers, that kind of environment, that is the bar that was set for them in their life. So your environment is kind of like where, you know what I'm saying? So if you're a girl, a young lady, a young girl, who grew up seeing the people around the neighborhood, the people who were put on a pedestal were the gangbangers and the drug dealers or whatever it is, you know, that's the bar.
yeah,
That's the bar for that woman.
a lot of young men are attracted to those men.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of young guys look at the pimps and the
Yeah.
if you're in that neighborhood,
Then that's what's
then
interesting.
even the young men will look at those men and think that's the bar.
Yeah.
So it's the same
kind
as
of
like
the same
Donald
thing.
Trump. If you were born and raised
That's the bar.
then that's the bar. You know what I mean? So
I mean, so when you see that, so if you're always around that and that's what you feel that you deserve, that's all you're seeing, then that's what you're going to get. So a lot of times when women are dating these roughnecks, these bad guys, or whatever it is, there's a couple different types of women here. There's ones that just like the element of danger, you know. She may not even be in that community. There's that woman who likes to mingle around in the rough side of town, knowing she don't know nothing about, you know what I mean, these roughnecks and stuff like that. But it's an element of kind of like danger, makes her feel different, you know. And then there's a woman who just really is just raised around it. And it's all that she really knows. Both are unbalanced. Both are unbalanced because they're looking for something that they don't. One's looking for something they don't know they shouldn't be around. They don't really want, and the other one is just thinks that's what she deserves. Is all she's seen.
but there's two sides to this coin, because if you're a guy that's really well educated and has good money, why do you want a woman like that?
Right.
So you kind of are attracting who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because energy is energy. See, people don't realize the law of attraction is real. What you put out, you know, there could be a woman who's been in all kinds of abusive relationships, and she goes to the bar and meet the one abusive man in the whole bar, because that's the radar that she signals when she's around men. She gets the ones that abuse you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just the same thing here. If you are a man that has a lot of good money and you're doing well in life, for some reason you're stuck on some woman that doesn't want you, you have to ask yourself, why is it that I want a woman that don't want me?
Yeah. And
you know what I mean?
Women have to do
She prefers something that I'm completely not.
Yeah.
So why is it important that I keep my feelings attached to this?
Yeah. I know a lot of men who are well educated, and just for whatever reason, and some of them not even like jump offs. Some of these women they really are trying to get in relationships with. I'm like, I had a friend in New York. I had a friend in New York, a guy friend, and he was this type of guy.
Yeah.
But I knew he was unbalanced. I don't care how much education you have. I don't care how much money you have. Your imbalance in yourself is always going to show around the people you hang around and around the woman, that you decide to pursue. And I'm like, you're a smart guy here.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So
why are you chasing after this woman who is not becoming of a woman? I'm not saying she can't change when we're talking about just literally how she is in that moment. However, whatever energy you bring out into the world, you're a magnet. You're a magnet for that type of energy. Right. So you can be as well educated as you want to. It is not going to matter. People always feel like that because when someone is just so I'm kind and no, you can be all of that, but still has some low self-worth.
Me and Danielle are close, but if we had a third sister that my energy was different, then I could just be close with this sister and not the other. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because who you sit across from is your mirror.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something people don't really like to talk about because that puts the responsibility back in your lap. There's a lot of men that like to talk about the girls that like the bad boys, but a lot of men don't want to talk about how much they like bad girls.
Yeah.
And a lot of men like Cardi B. A lot of men like those girls. They like those girls in those sundresses and walk around, bouncing around, acting like they like that. They'll sit there and say, "Oh, well, she's just no." Those girls usually have kids by men.
Kids, dates, money.
So, right. So my thing in saying that is that it's not that girls just women like tough men. Believe me, I don't like a man I can run over. I like strength in men, but I don't want to be abused. We like men who can hold their own,
yeah.
You know what I mean? We like the strength in men, that we don't, not toxic masculinity, healthy masculinity.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a difference. But if you're a woman that was raised, like Danielle said, in like the hood, and all you ever knew, your father was like that, or if he was even there at all, and every guy in the neighborhood is a drug dealer, those are the guys, that's the bar.
That's the bar. Why?
And don't get us twisted. These girls that go to college, a lot of them come from these neighborhoods and they haven't changed. You can change. You take the girl out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the girl.
And I think it's interesting at the end of this when he said, "Why do they consider decent, kind, happy, hardworking men unattractive, weak?" It's not necessarily. Let me say this: for people who have low self-worth, for women who have low self-worth, it's not that they truly view men that you're talking about, a exceptional man that you're referring to, as weak or unattractive. It's just they know they can't get them. Right. So a lot of women who have low self-worth will either they cower a bit because they know they're not going to be able to get a man like that. So the easiest way for a broken woman to make it right in her head is to make fun of him or call him weak or whatever. When the truth feelings within her is that she knows that he's not.
And another thing is like adding to what you're piggybacking off of that is that she may feel that even if you're coming for her, that she can't satisfy you.
Yeah,
because a lot of women who aren't, a lot of men who have class. And they try to date, like we were talking about the movie Set It Off, when Jada Pinkett was trying to date, what's his name?
Blair Underwood.
And Blair Underwood had money, he was classy, and he wanted to take her out, and she showed up in that like dashiki dress, and he had to go buy her a more classy, elegant dress for the function they were going into. A lot of women don't feel that they can live up to that type of quality because they never have that quality. And so when a man who's educated, or not even educated, just has a really good career, making really good money, living on a really good side of town, there are a lot of women that they don't really know how to be around, not even women like that.
Well, because what happens is that women who are roughneck women, they often don't know etiquette. They don't know how to mingle with that crowd because they don't have any basic etiquette when it comes to that type of crowd. So what they know is what they've always seen. So they are products of their environment, and when taken out of that environment and then placed with somebody who is different, they normally will fail because especially if they're not ready. Most of them they'll fail at it. I've known women who are kind of roughnecks that call like men who are just a well-rounded male. It doesn't have to be rich or nothing like that. But just a well-rounded. They often refer to those men as like nerds. You hear women like this, and I'm like, why do you call them a nerd? It's just because it's a defense mechanism. She doesn't want to truly say that he's a good guy, he's a kind guy. Because then if she does that, then how's she gonna be in that crowd?
It's like it's like when men call women prudes because they won't have sex with them right away. Yeah. It's the way to make you feel bad about yourself because
that's it.
It's just projection.
Yeah.
So it's like you're trying to make me feel bad because I'm not easy.
Yeah.
Which really, when you call me a prude, it's really a good thing because how he sees me as someone that's not easy to get.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing here is she's calling you a nerd, but what she's really saying is that you're educated and you're on a level I'm not, and I don't know how to be around you.
Yeah.
So it's like when people bully people in school, kid bullies, they really don't like themselves.
Yeah.
And so they project. They say mean things or they treat you bad because there's some insecurity there that they have within. You know what I mean? Right. So everything is an inner.
It's like whatever takes the most.
And then we project.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what it is. It's not that you're not good enough. It's not even that. It's actually the reverse. See, because when you date, if you're like a girl that has like no type of real class or etiquette, and then you date a guy who has none. Well, that's an even playing field. Yeah. There's no even if he doesn't treat her right, she can get another one. They're easy to get. You know what I mean? Like hood rat guys are easy to date because they don't value much.
Well, they don't require a whole lot.
They don't require anything from you. You know a woman that has like 5 different kids by 6 different men. Okay? So, and all she can do is talk, shit about men. But the truth is that she's only ever going to date those types of guys because she's got so many kids that she knows that if a guy walked over to her that had class, money, and status, she wouldn't feel that she could ever get a guy. I mean, she couldn't satisfy you. So she's going to go to the pain she's used to, not the humiliation that she might be,
deep down. Ready to confront. Like deep down inside of her, she knows that she's not going to be able to.
This is her level.
That she's gonna, she's not gonna be able to be with a guy like that because she knows that he's not going to even accept it. A real guy, a guy who's really like that, like what you're describing. He won't even look her way really, and if he does, it's really honestly just probably for sex. If he does, So I don't think that. I think people have to start understanding that stop paying so much attention to not necessarily character traits and stuff like that. You should pay attention to that, but it is the basic meeting of people is energy. Yeah, and if you're putting out a certain energy that's suggesting that you are unwhole, unworthy, that you feel this about yourself. If you feel bad about yourself in any way, shape, or form, I don't care who the person is that you meet. Almost 10 times out of 10, you're going to meet the person that mirrors you. It's like Kara's saying, you are a mirror and reflection of it. So when I date a man, I date nice men. The men that I've dated are all, it hasn't worked out because it just wasn't compatibility. It's just that's the point of dating. Right. But people, we're all still friends. We all are fine. And there's no bad blood. Everything's fine. We wish each other well. But those men are good men.
If I met someone in the hood, I would date the one guy that was good.
Because of me.
My energy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, people will say, oh, but he's from this place or that place. Yeah, but he's a good man. These are good men everywhere. And they're lousy men everywhere. They're good women everywhere. And they're lousy women on every tax bracket has losers and all tax brackets have winners and all of them. Yep. But who you are as a person is important. That's why I always say when you are single, get yourself together. Do not use it as some pastime till you get married. Yeah. You figure out who you are and what you want and be happy with your own company. Yeah. And by that, I mean, don't wait for God to buy you flowers. Buy them yourself. Treat yourself the way that you would want someone else to treat you. And that goes for men too. You know what I mean? If you want a woman to treat you well, then you have to treat yourself well. I agree. And once you start treating yourself well, you will expect, believe me, you will expect nothing less from other people. Yeah. That's true. That's just the truth. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, but I was just looking at, because he also said, why do they keep going back? I'm sorry, I'm just breaking down this email a little bit. So but he said, why do they keep going back to them or keep going for the same kind of man, knowing the results are going to be the same? And that is pretty self-explanatory. Like, what scares unwhole people is the unknown. So if you aren't feeling great about yourself and someone approaches you that appears to be decent, you are going to automatically push that guy away and go right back to what you know. So they will all that they know that the results are going to be the same thing every time. And people know this insanity, right?
But that's a fight they're used to having.
Yeah, so they're fine with that. That's not a big deal. I know people who are in horrible relationships, but and are presented with a good guy. This person goes back to the same bad stuff. You know why? Because that's home.
Right.
That same bad guy, I know what's going to happen. I know what the argument's going to look like. I know exactly what we're going to call each other. I know that we're going to probably, start throwing blows at each other at some point. It just feels like it's a twisted, understand, don't get us wrong, it is a very twisted way of thinking. But it is true. If you already know what you're getting into and you don't want to take any real risk on something that's different and maybe better, and you much rather just take the bad road, because of what you know, and you're a fearful person, you're going to take the bad road. People who are ready to change their life separate themselves from those people. See what I'm saying? So if you're ready to change your life and be a different person in general, a different woman in general, you are going to have to cut some people off. A lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people do not want to call. I'm talking about friends and some family members, toxic people. If you're ready to change your life, toxic people will have to be cut off. And a lot of times people don't want to cut off toxic people because it means they're going to have to go and stand alone, or maybe just go on the other side they don't know anything about. And I feel like this is what happened with a lot of women who keep going back to the same thing, is that
it's just a fight.
They're not ready to cut off the toxic part of them. You know what I mean? So they're going to they're going to ignore possible happiness.
Well, I mean, we actually know someone who was married, and their wife,
his wife,
is toxic, and so is he. You know what I mean? So then he goes off and meets a new girl.
They get a divorce.
He goes to meet the girl. The woman is exactly like his wife.
Yo.
And he doesn't even see it. You can see it. He's over here taking pictures of himself. You know what I mean? He's the exact same woman. She's saying literally the exact same things on Facebook.
It is so funny.
It is like a mirror. Like he's literally,
laugh.
and he's talking about his ex like a dog, like the woman he's with isn't the same woman. It is like they're the same.
We were looking at this particular couple, and we were thinking, God, he thinks he thinks he found a whole new type of woman. He literally thinks he found a whole different type of woman. And Karen and I are looking at this, like, she talks the same. She looks like her. She talks like her. She's also a single mom. It's the same story. I'm like, dude, you found the same girl.
50-50 relationship, both paying the same amount.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He is the same. So you know what? He got the same woman
thing.
again.
Because he's
you know what I mean? And this will end. And then he'll find another one unless he looks at himself in the mirror and goes, I'm tired of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everybody can change if they get tired. If you get tired of something, if you get tired of being overweight, you'll lose weight.
Yeah, true.
If you get tired of anything, if you get tired of the job you're at, you will quit. You know what I mean? But some people haven't been hurt bad enough.
Right.
They haven't been sick and tired of being sick and tired of, enough. It's just like, again, I mean, this is something that can be flipped with men. Because I know men who do this all the time. They meet a woman, the woman, and every woman they date is exactly the same. But for some reason, every time they get a new one, just because she has a different face, they think it's a different woman. It's not a different woman. I see women do it all the time. They date another guy, and it's the same guy. But what it is that they don't want to leave the station that they're at, because you know why? That means that they have to be better.
They're going to have to up their game.
When a woman tells you that you're not good enough for her or something like that, because of what you know that you could provide and do better, you should be happy, because what she's saying is that we're not on the same level.
We're
actually better than me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look at it that way, because that is what it is.
We had a comment a long time ago. He mentioned a YouTuber that he watches, and he said this YouTuber, I can't remember the guy's name. I'll try to find the comment, you guys, but he said this, fill in the blank YouTuber would call you two ladies TMWs, too much work. And so I said to him under the comment, that's a compliment.
Right.
And a woman who is whole and knows what she wants and knows where she's going and knows that who she is as a woman and is a good person in general, we were like,
not to every man. You see what I'm saying? That's how, as a person, as the receiving person, whether you're a man or a woman, when people project on you their own feelings, what you have to say is, okay, well, to them, I'm too much.
Yeah.
For some other person, I won't be. And see, Steve Harvey actually has a part in his book. I read it a long time ago, and he was saying that men usually calculate the cost of a woman before he walks up to her. And by cost, he's like not saying about money. He's saying how much work he's going to have to put into her to be with her.
Which makes sense.
What I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I agree.
So for some men, I am too much work, and for some men, I'm just right. You know what I'm saying? That's how everybody individually has to look at life. Because if you're happy with who you are and you're in a good state of mind, and you know that about yourself, then whatever anybody says to you is none of your business. That's how they feel about you.
Right.
You know what I mean? He doesn't know me.
Right.
So he only knows me from YouTube.
Yeah.
You don't know me as a person. So what happened was I or Danielle said something that triggered him, that made him think that if he ever tried to approach us or anything, we would be hard to deal with. Why? Because we're not easy.
Right.
And for some men, they like easy. And that's why there are so many women out here who are easy to get in bed.
Everything is so simplified right now. You know what I mean? And so when you come across a woman that maybe thinks like Kara and I do, there's lots of women like us that think like we do, who believe that we are good people and feel good about ourselves and understand our flaws. You know, when you're a woman who understands those dynamics within yourself, you do kind of you have every right to vet any man that wants to come into your life. So we don't ever have any problems with someone saying, "Oh, you do too much work," because we're asking for more. So when a woman doesn't, and a woman is staying in a situation where she just is like, okay, well, this is where my life is. My bar has been set differently. My bar is not crazy. But I do expect men to be men.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? In general, though, when people know what they want, whether you're a man or a woman, you intimidate people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You intimidate people because you know who you are, and you know it's the energy you give. You know who you are, you know what you want, and people who are back and forth and mealy mouth get very intimidated by people in general who make decisions.
So we have, I think we have
a decisive person.
Yeah, we have very decisive energy, and so when men meet us or when we talk to men or even some comments, we're just very blatant about the way that we talk. There is no like undercover talk and the subliminal messages. No, we're just saying what it is.
I mean, like I said, we just did a show about women who propose. So he lives in a world where women are proposing and, like, again, paying for dates and asking you out. So yeah,
that's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm not someone who does that. So to me, I would be too much work.
Yeah, I'm not for
someone who's in that mind frame.
I wouldn't be for you.
Right. Yeah. But for other types of men, I mean, I don't have a problem with finding men. So I'm not.
You know what I mean? So like, I feel like this whole question, what you're saying, it's you are correct. I mean, I know what you're saying. I've seen women like this that still go back to the same type of guy, and then make fun of the guys who are, just being normal. But they call them weak and unattractive. A lot of it's just defense mechanism, and they just don't feel they deserve better. It comes down to that, what you feel you deserve. And if you don't feel you deserve better, and your bar is set to a thug, then yeah, that's what you're gonna get. If you feel like you're the upper echelons of the dating world for you and men is a thug, then that's who you're going to get. I don't think that's where it's set for me. You know what I mean? A guy who's a gangbanger and been dealing drugs and so that obviously is not something I want to be around. So I don't get those men. Don't come to me. They don't gravitate to me.
Right.
But let's say I was an unwhole woman. Let's say that I was a woman who, and I've had my times in my younger years where I just did not feel good about myself. And guess what I got? Guys also who didn't feel good about themselves and treated me horrible. So I was in a position in my life where many times men...
Well, because every woman at some point goes through a time where they're more insecure, particularly in your 20s. Yeah. You go through, because you're trying to find yourself.
People can change, you know what I mean? So I don't want to be too hard. I don't want to be too hard on people, men and women, when a situation. When it comes to self-worth, I don't like to be so tough on that because people have a journey.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just because a woman is not picking the right men now and who are downing men who are not, it's a defense thing. It's not really how she is. Right. It's just that she doesn't know how to be different. So I feel like the last thing we need to do is like start browbeating women that like that. No, I think every woman can change. If I can change, every woman can change.
I mean, we have a single black mother percentile that's in like the 70s.
Right, that's high.
77, 73%. So a lot of those single mothers are raising kids without fathers. So whether she has a boy or a girl, those kids are going to grow up and going to have emotional issues. You know what I mean? I was raised without a father. It took me a while to find myself because I was raised with a classy mother, but I wasn't raised with a man in my life. So it took me a lot longer to figure out who I was.
Well, people always ask us, one of our main questions, especially men, why are you guys still single?
There's no deadline.
Yeah.
You grow when you're ready to grow.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we are the ones who put limits on ourselves in this physical world. We do that. We're the ones saying, oh, you have to this time to do this. You have to this time to do this. You have to this time to do. No, you have to grow in your own time.
Yeah.
Because the instant you start trying to beat a clock, you miss the whole point. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people who are not whole and they get married and they have children, and there are a lot of women my age, they're going on their second and third marriage now. You know why? Because they were told they were supposed to get married at this certain time, or they were supposed to get married at this time, and they didn't even like their husband that much. They just got married because everybody was telling them that they should because it's the right age.
It's like if you don't believe that you deserve better, you won't get better. And any woman who's going to adopt this idea that these bad men are somehow great men. They know. Don't be fooled though.
Yeah.
These women are not dumb. They know that they're picking them. They know they're in a bad situation, in a wrong situation. They know the guy that they're with is a mess. They know it. But you know what else they know? They know they are.
Yeah, because you can only attract that type of man.
That's it.
First of all, you can date. Look, a loser could come to me right now, but I'm not going to introduce. I'm not going to entertain him. See, who you decide to entertain is where you figure out who you are psychologically. Yeah. Because everybody can get asked out by a person that's like a loser. A man can date a woman that's nothing.
It's what you do. It's what you do immediately after.
Right. But if you decide to entertain that woman for too long, knowing the kind of woman she is, there's something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing here. If I decide to entertain a man who doesn't treat me well, then there's something's wrong with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We are mirrors of who we decide to entertain all the time. And that's not just with significant others. That's also with friends and family members who you decide to hang out with.
That's it.
You are part of
that's what we're saying. You need to release the toxic energy in your life. There's this people. The only way you can create change in your life and get new types of people in your life that are just more evolved people is if you eliminate toxic people. And if you are not willing to eliminate toxic people, then you are just inviting and sustaining bad relationships. And all kinds of relationships, so I just feel like at this point, women like that, they know what they're doing. They know who they're with. They know that he's a mess, but they also just know that they are too.
And they don't want to learn.
And so they're not ready.
Let me say that, I always like to be around people. See, this is the thing. This is how I always know when I'm ready to grow out of something is when because I like to be around people that know more than me.
Oh yeah,
I always do. That's why when I get married, I want my husband to know more than me, because I feel like when you're the smartest person in the room, you're not growing anymore. And so for me, a lot of these women are just they're around people that they've always been around. They don't want to explore, and they don't want to leave that plateau because then that's the unknown. That's where I don't want to grow anymore because what if now I look like a fool in his world? Because let's keep it real. When we marry men, we go into their worlds. It's not supposed to be the other way around. So if you don't know anything about class or you don't know anything about money and you're used to a certain type of guy, and then but this new guy comes with a different types of people. Yeah. Different class of people. And you're not etiquette enough wise to be, to know how to, or you're afraid. Then what you do is you put the man down so you can push him away. Right. So that you don't have to deal.
Yeah. I don't have to change. If I'm with somebody that's different, I'm going to have to change. And I'm not ready to change. I want to stay in my world of just a mess.
Because this is a dysfunction I know.
Yeah. But let us know what you think about that. Comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Everybody have a good weekend. Bye.